I know I look horrible right now, but I don't care. I really don't. One thing that kind of brought to mind, you know, especially after my last video post, and you know, I really have to give a shout out to everyone that commented on that, especially August Dreams. She said something, you know, about Aretha Franklin being our queen, and you know, and the thing is, I realize certain things, you know, I can't say this for all of us, but a lot of us at times disregard some of our people that have been trailblazers, you know, even in the smallest aspect. Some of us might even not know, you know, of certain people. And like, I guess I'm speaking also more or less from the musical standpoint, but also a lot of our inventors and stuff. Like, we really need to start holding our own, you know, like just really admonishing our own, and totally like holding them to us. And you know, I don't want to speak for all black people because, you know, I don't know all black people, but just maybe as a collective. And I try not to be like that. I try not to think of us as like a whole group of people, even though we are. I'm not denying that, but just everybody's different, you know. But just to get back to what I was saying, I feel a lot of times we as a young culture that have a lot of ancient ancestral ties, we tend to kind of move on a little too fast and kind of just disregard the older of us in a sense of even when we talk about music even or anything like that, and things, because we're so used to moving along to the next. We're probably the most we're the most progressive group when it comes to like just our culture. In a lot of ways, we tend to just kind of move on to the next more than people give us credit for. You know, we create and then we just move on. And it, especially if somebody else co-ops it and co-ops what we do. But we need to, nothing's wrong with moving on, but we really need to keep our people, especially those that have innovated, as beacons. I don't like to use the term trophies, but like, yeah, in a positive sense of what that means, we should, because it's like an award, you know, like, hey, this is where our milestone is. It's one of the reasons that I do also the Black History of Rock and Roll. I'm a rocker, I ain't gonna lie, you know, that's what I am. Been that way since I was a little one, you know. But the thing is, that's a part of us too, you know. And then I'm seeing a lot of these youngins like kind of crap on a lot of newer a lot of these older hip hop heads, saying, you know, as much as I like some of the things that Odd Future did, that's one of the things that kind of like pissed me off about them that I didn't like. And maybe it was to piss people off. The whole nihilistic aspect, you know. We can't afford to be nihilistic, you know, with our own culture. We can't. And the thing is that it's like we need to hold on to those traditional things that have made what we are and the people that have made who we are in our progressions. But we cannot just let that go and disregard or diss the elders of what we've been doing. Now, there's a lot of us that don't diss our elders, which of course you'll see that in the comment section of the Aretha Franklin post that I did. But unfortunately, there is a contingency of us that kind of don't even care about that. We really need to hold to not only the elders, but what they have done, you know, the legacy that they've made, and the path that they've trailblazed for us. They are icons to us. I'm an Orthodox Christian for all I mean, I've said that in like a lot of videos, but one of the things that we look at as icons, not necessarily to worship, but also not necessarily to worship, because we don't do that. We worship the Most High. But we look at them as trailblazers. You know, we look at them as the church militant, or the church triumphant. We're the church militant. And what I mean by that is more of a spiritual thing, not some stupid like Western concept of that. I look at it as a spiritual thing, to where, you know, we're still the same active, but bringing it back to even us as a black people, those people are like the triumphant ones that have trailblazed and made it, and have left legacies for us. They're our triumphant, you know. They are our people that have reigned in that category, you know, like, or whatever they did. You know, they sit they sit as an example for us, and you know, for us to basically, you know, hooray them, but also to go even further. They're that cloud of witness for us. We witness their actions. You see what I'm saying? I'm using kind of, you know, our church lingo in a sense for something that I guess some people would not deem it, but that teaches me that in that aspect too. I don't just apply my spirituality or so-called religion to just that. I apply it to a lot of things in life, you know. And I know there's different contexts, and I'm not disrespecting when I say this. So yeah, not to be long-winded, I think we really need to take hold of our inventions, our people that have invented and trailblazed for us, and not only see it from a distance or regard it as something from the past, but look at it as something that, hey, this is ours, this is our legacy, and encompass all of that aspect. We need all of those things that are creative to be admired. You know, not only admired, but also to cherish and not disregard. I remember even listening to Tariq talk about something when he mentioned about music. A lot of us just kind of move on, and then we get mad when people culturally appropriate our stuff. Well, what are we doing with our stuff? You know, when you have creativity, no one's just gonna like leave that there, especially if they see value to it. They're going to do something with it, especially if they see that they could have a value to it. So we have to have value to our creative ones, as well as the creative process that they have set for us. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Peace to you. I hope and pray the best for you guys. Salam.